Hi everyone, this is Saanya and I'm here to talk to you today about my MCAT journey. I took the MCAT in the winter break of my junior year, and so this was after a full semester of classes, extracurriculars, volunteer work, and jobs, and so I didn't get a lot of time to study during that semester before. I did some light review of the Kaplan books during that semester, but I didn't really focus on the MCAT too much, and so that left me only about 1.5 months to really sit down and focus on the content and the practice questions for the MCAT. Because of this, one of the biggest struggles I had with the MCAT was definitely a time crunch. In addition to this, in the beginning of my winter break, I got COVID, and so that limited my already limited time even more. One thing I learned was recognizing your strengths and weaknesses to adapt your study plan to your situation. So one of my strengths was definitely memorization. I had just taken a lot of the classes I needed for the MCAT that semester before or the semester prior to that, and so I knew that a lot of the content was already fresh in my mind. I also was a good memorizer, and so I didn't really need a lot of time to review content. And so in my study plan, I only dedicated around 1 or 2 weeks to really focusing on content review, and I just did practice questions at the end of every chapter. I think a time crunch isn't usually the best for long-term learning, but for the short term, it helped me recognize some of the patterns that I was using to think through the questions and through the passages a lot quicker than usual. I was able to recognize which kind of questions I got right or wrong, which strategies were working and which ones weren't, and it helped me adapt within a short period of time. While memorization was definitely a strength of mine, one of my weaknesses was cars. There was no kind of content review or background information that I could bring into that section, and so I was really unsure of where to start to try to bring my score higher. I researched a bunch of strategies online, and eventually I just decided to pick one and go for it. I started off with one strategy, and then I switched to another, and eventually I landed on highlighting. I found that highlighting throughout the passage a lot really helped me focus on what I was reading and grasp the details of what the author was saying. Eventually, I saw my scores start to increase, but there was a time where it started to plateau again. It wasn't at my goal score that I wanted to get, and so I decided to reevaluate my strategy. I realized that highlighting so much throughout the passage was actually taking up time from being able to critically evaluate all of the questions and their answers. I tried to highlight less, and eventually I realized that focusing during the passage became such a habit because of highlighting that I didn't need the highlighting anymore to do so. I stopped highlighting as much and only focused on the author's tone and voice, and I saw my scores start to increase again. My biggest frustration with this test was just how daunting it could be. Everyone tells you that this is such a critical part of your pre-med journey and that this is a test that determines everything for your future career, and I tended to look at my friends who had already gone through this process and think they're so smart, there's no way that I will be able to catch up to them or do as well as they did. I know that the MCAT can seem scary and daunting, but please remember that it's just a step in your journey to becoming a healthcare professional and for fulfilling your dreams to caring for others. On the day of my exam, I walked into that testing center with confidence, and I walked out with a score of 522, which was past my goal score, and I even scored a surprising 131 in the car section, which was higher than I had scored in any practice test I had taken before. I feel like because of my time crunch and overall approach to the MCAT, I had a unique study journey, and I wanted to help give back to other students who may have been feeling discouraged. Through my experiences as an MCAT mastery mentor, I realized that everyone has their own unique strengths and weaknesses, and as long as you can adapt that to your study plan and your study habits, there is nothing that you can't do to help overcome your weaknesses. I know that the MCAT can seem scary and daunting, but please remember that it's just a step in your journey to becoming a healthcare professional and for fulfilling your dreams to caring for others. Wherever you are in your MCAT journey, whether it's the beginning, the middle, or you're nearing the end, you can sign up for our free MCAT strategy emails with a link below. With these emails, you'll receive other tips and tricks from other mentors who are ready to give back and share their knowledge of the MCAT with you. Study hard, take breaks, and be kind to yourself as you navigate this challenge. Remember that you have everything it takes to do well at the MCAT, and you'll be so proud of yourself once you do. Bye for now, and remember to click the link below for more videos like these.